Transforming Higher Education with Human-Centered Design is an edited anthology. It's a collection of case studies from all around the world, written by various educators, librarians, academics, student support services who really wanted to embrace meaningful change in higher education. They write about their passion of putting human in the center of everything they do. They write about their failures, their excitements and wins. And we really want to inspire everybody to take this human-centered design approach, be curious about it and give it a go. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Radka Newton. I'm one of the editors of the book that we will be bringing. For me, the inspiration for this book was when I was a director of Masters in Management, and when I first turned up to the class and I was supposed to induct my students into a program that I couldn't understand myself. And my students told me, Radka, everything we do here for the first time is also for the last time. Because the master degree is a one-year degree. Yeah. So I thought it needs to be spot on, the journey needs to be really seamless. And I really wanted them to enjoy. And I started really experimenting with actually the student cohort to see how I can bring them into co-creating that experience, making their lives more enjoyable, but ultimately also the lives of the academics and the professional staff around the program much more enjoyable. And I always remember the admin team were saying, we don't get any emails anymore, because the students were so much more included, inducted. They knew what was going on.
I think this is such an important time. We've got students with kind of increasing anxiety that people are arriving with, and we've got universities that are really trying to work out how do we continue to operate? How do we do the things that we need to do with smaller budgets, with kind of a sense of insecurity, perhaps. We can't just keep adding more and adding more. That's, it doesn't work for students, it doesn't work for staff. So we need to think about how do we do it differently. And there's a whole set of kind of approaches and tools that actually are used really widely and beyond higher education that we just need to bring in.
We're going to act out for you, and we haven't rehearsed this, so be kind. The typical Friday afternoon of an international student.
There's a lot about the student experience and the staff experience that actually is in a service context. Not everything, but quite a lot of it is. And I love Lou Downs' quote about, what is a service? A service is something that helps someone do something. And the way that we've got so many different voices actually in this book, from the professional services side, from libraries, from academics. Adam Lawrence, who's a service design practitioner who we revere greatly, really helps focus in on what I think is a unique anthology, really, of case studies, thought pieces, which hopefully people will be able to take away and reflect on their own experience, what they do as practitioners in the higher education sector.
There are 5 phases that you would undertake as part of a project. And the first is probably the most important, which is to empathise.
It just chimes with my values, my vision of higher education, which is that it's humanistic, that we show empathy for our students, and that it's based around teams. It's just so effective. It's really helped me in my work, helping students have a better experience at university. It prompts me to be more creative in my ideas and to really focus on solving the right problem in the right way.
What approaches do other people use to bring about change in kind of complex organisations? This 10-week programme that I kind of created, and Radka and Jean helped me with as well.
Service is a kind of divisive term, isn't it, really? And I think sometimes people kind of have a reaction to it that then they don't hear kind of what you say next. One of the kind of ways it made sense for me was, Radka, you once asked me, think about a good service, and I was in a group and we wrote down kind of the elements of good service, and we thought about that and whether that could be applied to higher education, and all of it could, that sense of being cared about, that sense of kind of there being clarity about what happens next, whose responsibility things are. And I think as an educator, I know that learning is uncomfortable, and so one of my jobs as an educator is to make people kind of comfortable enough that they're willing and able to kind of take that next step. So if you've got a student who's worried about enrolment or about making it to lectures on time because they're timetabled in a way that they can't get between the rooms, all of that kind of cognitive load means that they're not really present to learn. For me, it's whether we can learn from other services and actually bring that learning in, then create the kind of environment where people can learn well.
So I'm very proud that this book is out in the world and we can showcase so many examples of other colleagues that we have met along the journey who also, went for it, had that courage to do it. And I really hope that it will inspire many more.